More and more information is slowly eking out about the rising feud between Ricky Thornton Jr. and Chris Madden. Both of the drivers have seemed to indicate that it stems from on-track incidents that took place during the World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte this past weekend. However, we're hearing from multiple people claiming that there is more to the story than just what is going on the track. Obviously, Chris Madden was the crew chief for Ricky Thornton Jr. during his Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship run this past year after he switched from SSI Motorsports to Kohler Motorsports, and Madden was subsequently brought in to be his crew chief after he dropped out of competition with the World of Outlaws due to a health issue. So I wrote this over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. We're going to go over kind of what happened on Saturday, Friday night, and then we'll get into some of the new information that has come out this week. So obviously on Saturday night, Madden passed Thornton for the lead on lap 3, and Thornton took exception to the way he was passed, giving Madden a shot to the left rear, or at least appeared to take exception to the way he was passed, giving Madden a shot to the left rear quarter panel as soon as Madden got around him. So we can take a look at that right here.
And Shepard, if you can maintain a top 10 position, you can seal the deal down the back straightaway. Chris Smoky Madden to the race lead. Him and Thornton have raced each other pretty hard all weekend long, and Thornton.
So there you go. You can see what happened there. It's really kind of hard to tell it's really hard to tell what exactly happened given the way they cut the camera away. I've talked about that before. It does look like Madden could have potentially kind of come across Ricky Thornton's nose right there, and Thornton obviously taking exception to that, giving him a shot right there to the left rear quarter panel. Obviously, Thornton would eventually kind of track Madden down later on in the race when there was a green flag run. We got to skip ahead here till around lap 32. So here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Brandon Shepard on your screen in the B5. Ricky Thornton Jr. contact with a 44 of Madden. The gloves off again, and now Mike Marlar able to get around Thornton.
So Thornton obviously got to the back of Chris Madden and just gave him another shot there to his left rear quarter panel. A similar situation there. It didn't work out. He drifted up the track, and instead of allowing Bobby Pierce to pass him, Mike Marlar was there. But unfortunately for Marlar, caution would come out. And they would revert back to their original positions. And then Madden would kind of run away with it from there, pretty much going unchallenged, and would get the win. Following the race, we did get an interview with Ricky Thornton Jr. He spoke with the World Outlaws Hannah Newhouse, or Dirt Vision's Hannah Newhouse. And Thornton said this: I guess, guys, or when asked what he needed to win, he said, I guess, guys, quit throwing yellows or whatever the hell they were doing around the top. I don't know if they were blowing tires or what, but I feel like every time we get a little bit of a run, we get a yellow, of course, right when we get to traffic. He then appeared to direct his ire towards Madden, saying, I don't know, second left side he needs. I guess he needs them more than I do. So hopefully he goes to Sonoya next week. We'll take care of it. Obviously referring to the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America event that will happen in Sonoya, and seemingly potentially promising payback against Madden, or going to enact vengeance against Madden at Sonoya there. We then got this photo. It was taken by dirtondirt.com Zach Yost, and it was shared by Tyler Erb to Facebook, and you can see there was a confrontation in the victory lane with Madden and Ricky Thornton Jr. clearly having a very heated discussion as Mike Marlar has kind of separated himself, and he's just like looking on. Turbo with the hilarious comment saying that Mike Marlar should be hired by Abercrombie and Fitch as a male model there. As far as kind of what happened, dirtondirt.com's Kevin Kovac said the pair exchanged words in victory lane, and later in the pits, they were separated by security. A source also informed Stock Car Report and myself that a crew member for Madden informed Thornton that he didn't belong there and then shoved him. Security was then called to intervene. We then had Kyle McFadden at Flow Racing reporting that Thornton informed Madden he didn't like, quote, how I got ran over earlier in Saturday's race, and that the contact killed Thornton's left front suspension. Thornton also informed Flow Racing about what happened. He said, we were discussing the race. He wasn't happy with me. I wasn't happy with him. We left it at that and parted ways. And then his crew guy wants to start fighting. Kind of is what it is. Madden shared his perspective, saying, I ain't listening to nobody's mouth. And then you can kind of see a little bit of what happened here. Obviously, it's a still image, but a crowd certainly gathered around Madden's car. Something was clearly happening. If you were still watching the Dirt Vision broadcast, you could hear the announcer saying, it wasn't Ruben, I think it was their the sprint car announcer. I'm not sure, his name escapes me. But he was saying that security had been called, and you kind of see some of these yellow shirts starting to gravitate towards Madden's car there in Victory Lane. We then got comments from Thornton and Madden regarding what all happened. They provided some more details. Thornton said that Madden clobbered me and explained the suspension damage, saying instead of my steering being straight, it was turned to the right by a quarter of a turn. It knocked it pretty far out. After that, I got to him a couple times, and he kind of chopped me. When he chopped me, it killed the nose and knocked the whole right front bumper way up. After that, I couldn't turn down the corner like I needed to. This place, you need so much speed. Anytime you lose part of your nose like that is not ideal. Other than that, if we could have got to traffic, we might have had a shot to try something. Madden then countered what Thornton had to say, and he said this: Thornton left the door open in 1 and 2, and I filled the hole, and he tried coming on back when I was there. We barely touched. If he calls that something, then he has a lot ahead of him in the racing world. He tried to crash me twice after that. That's not racing, man. Madden would also reference Friday night's feature that saw the two come together. He said this Friday he spun out up here in 1 and 2. I'm in the middle of the racetrack, and he comes back across the racetrack, and he's plumb sideways. I guess he thinks I ran into him then. He's the one that spun out, was all up in the cushion, whatever. It is what it is. He can think what he wants to. I ain't going to lose no sleep over it. And we can watch that right here.
Allows for Madden to go 3 wide, trouble. Thornton sideways. Somehow keeps it straight. Here comes Davenport to the inside of Madden. The gloves are off. These guys beating and banging on.
So hard to tell what exactly happened, because I think that we didn't really get to see what happened with Thornton there beforehand. Camera didn't cut to him early enough. Obviously, we hear Ruben saying that Thornton got up in the cushion, but it's hard to see exactly what happened. Obviously, they're 3 wide. There was a car contact was clearly made, but it sounds like it was just a racing deal, because then you can kind of see there that Madden was kind of playing bumper cars with Jonathan Davenport, and really just kind of a tight track. And I felt like that was just kind of a racing deal to me. But we did get this final comment here from Madden as well. He noted that it wasn't just Thornton who was mad at him. It was Bobby Pierce as well. He said, Bobby tried to wreck me in the dash. I just drove by them. I didn't have to be aggressive with nobody. So this is the latest information right here. It's coming from Racing Jason during the most recent episode of Ripping the Lip on X, which took place last night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. He obviously kind of gives his perspective of where he was at the track and how he kind of figured it all about it. But then we get to this part right here where he says that there is more to this than just what was going on at the track. He says there's some heated stuff going on between those two teams. I don't know if I can go into detail about it, but I know what's going on. I know the whole story. It's not good. It's not good at all. I really don't know how else I can put that. There's some inside stuff that's going on, and it's not good. And I hope it gets cleared up, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. So there you go. So obviously it doesn't provide any details, but does tell us that clearly there's something else happening between Ricky Thornton Jr. and Chris Madden than what was happening on the track at the World Finals. So clearly some kind of personal falling out likely occurred between the two as during their time as teammates when Madden was the crew chief for Ricky Thornton Jr. And it wasn't just Racing Jason who shared this. Kyle McFadden later joined the Ripping the Lip show, and he appeared to corroborate Racing Jason's comments. And he said this: obviously, things have been brewing between those two for at least a few days. Obviously, there's always more to the story. That's all I'm going to say to that. So he's clearly saying that there's more to it as well. It's not just what happened on the track at the World Finals. There's clearly something else going on between these two. And that was kind of always my speculation, that there was clearly something else. I mean, Ricky was obviously not even trying to pass him there that second time on lap 32 or whatever it was. Clearly just got to him and just hit him. Wasn't even trying to make a pass. So I think it's pretty obvious there was a little bit more to it than him just riding across his nose, if that was even the disagreement he had to begin with. So we'll see if more information comes out on this. Obviously, we'll be following this story. I think it is a very interesting story, given the fact that they literally won the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship together. And then now they're clearly have significant animosity towards each other. And it came out here at the dirt track at Charlotte for the World Finals. I do want to add this last bit of piece here from Kyle McFadden. He says, if there's anything to know about Ricky and Chris, it's that they don't back down from what they think is right. So I do find that an interesting comment there that he provided. So, and you can see, look, these guys, they just won. Here's the picture of them being the crowned national champions for the Lucas Oil Dirt Series. I mean, Ricky obviously in the middle with a big grin. Madden's right here to his right with a smile on his face. And now they're battling each other on the track and don't have any kind of words for each other. So I will definitely be following this, as I said. We'll see if any more comes out, and we'll obviously be following what happens between these two. If there are any more on-track incidents or off-track incidents, obviously Ricky Thornton Jr. talking about potentially doing something at Sonoya, handling it there. Not sure exactly what that means. Could be something on the track. Could be that they talk to each other. We'll find out. But this is definitely a story that I will be following very closely. But let me know what you guys make of this new information that there is clearly something more going on between Chris Madden and Ricky Thornton Jr. other than what was going on the track at the World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte. Let me know in the comments below.